of this best of 3 series. And 1-1 at the moment here between the reigning world champions Fnatic and Tempo Storm, arguably the challenger in this series, but they brought out a fantastic game number 1 against Fnatic. I'm joined by Grubby, we have Wolf, we have Skimmy here to round out this series in the end, because whichever way it goes, I think we never really expected to be in a... I'll be honest, I came in like, 2-0, let's go to the next round.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. This is all to play for.
And now Tempo Storm needs to make a very tough decision. They need to either decide we have come here to play our own play, which is standard solid and will defeat Fnatic through a smart draft and good play, or if they feel a little bit more, oh, we need to do something special. I think they have 2 powerful choices. They can go to Tomb of the Spider Queen, which for me would say Psalm, our hero, on Kerrigan, on Kel'Thuzad, will reign supreme and will triumph for us, or we can see them go to Brax's Holdout if they pick that map, and that would resemble the choice of we're not confident we can take them straight on.
Yeah. Let's compare the support players that we do have from either of these teams, of course, with SMX going up against someone like June. SMX is a guy that stands out a lot on the roster. June kind of, sits in the back, does what he needs to do. What do you think about how these two stack up when it comes to the stats that we have here from the HGC finals?
I feel like Smex has always been a more aggressive support player who somehow manages to survive more too. I feel like June can get caught many times, not out of his own fault, but because of over-aggressive play from Tempo Storm. So he plays his own defensive style to try to keep everybody healed up, but when his team goes too aggressive out of his range there, sometimes he gets caught. As I think, it sounds like an oversimplification of those 2 support players, but Smex has always been the more storied player in terms of international events. Our
Battleground is ready to go for game number 3, so let's find out where we're heading. And it will be Tomb of the Spider Queen, chosen by Tempo Storm.
That's the point I wanted to bring up before with Grubby. As a result of what you're saying, do you go for the standard, the style of execution? Are you here to play? Are you here to try and bring that cheese style that we've seen in the likes of Brax's Holdout? From game number 2 on Cursed Law, I think that the drafts were pretty balanced for the most part. I feel like Tempo Storm had a draft which could have netted the win. It just came down to a mechanical difference, so to speak. Fnatic have that A-class, that World Championship flair about them.
All right, it's time. Game number 3. Europe goes up against North America. We didn't think we'd get here, but Tempo Storm and Fnatic have pushed us all the way to the brink. Let's get into it.
I feel like in the first 2 games, we saw defensive drafting out of Tempo Storm. We saw them ban away the Lure, not allowing that to be there with the Abathur, pulling in the Medivh to try to counter that composition. Game number 2, drafted against Globals, remove the Brightwing, remove the Falstad, pick up the Dahaka early. And I think, as Grubby says, this time, they're taking this into their own hands in terms of kind of mechanical skill, how well they play on the map with their specific hero picks. Medivh's taken from them.
That's a high priority.
So the cool thing is, I totally expected Tempo to either go for one of these 2 maps. They go for Tomb, which shows a kind of confidence, and we'll do our meta, and we'll do our Psalm on our cool hero, Kerrigan, Kel'Thuzad. Medivh counters both of those.
Yes.
They're both about blow-up comms, one at the melee, one at the range. And another cool pick that Psalm has been doing is Medivh.
Yep.
This one shuts down 3 options of Tempo Storm right away. So now it cannot be about early pickoffs, mid-game pickoffs. Now Tempo has to win rotationally and team fight-wise.
Yeah.
And so with that, Fnatic really upped the stakes here for Tempo.
Smart move. Garrosh and Sonya are going to be the response, though.
Now, Garrosh, what we saw in game number 1 was completely different than I think what we're going to see here. Obviously, Garrosh, his Warlord's challenge, bringing everybody into the polybombs, not an option here, but can be strong against it can be defensive against strong dive assassins that pair well with Medivh, for example. So I think it's a safe pick overall.
But Medivh overall is very good against someone like Garrosh.
Yes, you take Medivh to counter Garrosh.
Yes.
I said 3 options were shut down. It's kind of like 4.
Right.
They still go the Garrosh route. But who do you need when Garrosh flips someone over his shoulders? You need a Force of Will and a portal. Medivh is already there. So let's see if Tempo Storm can deconstruct that. But so far, very smart by Fnatic.
This is also a very, very strong map for Stitches. Obviously, you have your structures up for a long time through the early to early mid-game. And I think that this is a pick that we're not going to see in this rotation necessarily, but this is something that Tempo Storm will absolutely have to respect. Your Garrosh gets pulled, sure, he gets a lot of armor, but if he's over the wall, you're in big trouble.
I like the idea that you're actually considering that, because you can see from what Tempo Storm have so far between this Garrosh and Sonya, they want to try and dictate that rotation from mid to top, mid to top. They're saying, look,
Instant.
Wolf.
there, yeah, I mean, there it is.
Yeah.
I mean,
It will not come to be.
Not going to happen. I mean, especially when you have the Malfurion coming through here as well. You just deposit right on with your Gorge right onto the root, or you just follow up the hook with the root. So it seemed so obvious to Tempo Storm, and they remove it away.
That makes sense. They already have 2 warriors. They banned one to begin with. Then the Stitch's threat. Overall, big warrior prioritization by Tempo. Now, I don't want to see them go to triple warrior. If you do that, you have a tough time dealing with Medivh, because your damage output is too low. Just in case you were thinking anything fancy, like, oh, how about I take all the warriors? There are none left for Fnatic. That's probably not viable.
You know, I actually don't really personally like the Genji ban because you already have protection against burst. I'd rather see something like a Vala ban, to be honest, for more sustained damage against the shielding. If they ban the Uther here, for example, you could just see Vala Ariel picked up from Tempo Storm. It goes against their playstyle in a lot of ways, and you wouldn't expect them to necessarily pick it on this map, but we forget about the Vala Ariel sometimes. I think it's very strong in this situation in terms of sustain and wave clear.
Exactly, the good wave clear.
yeah, I mean, exactly what I was thinking as well. You're going to be looking to try and be that strong 4-man rotation to bounce between. The Oriole promotes that idea. When everyone's stuck around in that one unit, you're going to find infinite value. If you do go for the Vala de Lunara, which typically you pair with that Oriole, you're going to have that slow, sustained damage, potentially even a multi-shot build, and you're going to be spreading that across what Medivh is forced to content with.
What do you guys think about Ariel Gul'dan? Portal invades are completely shut down by Horrify. Great energy generator. Not that much dive yet, besides that portal, which is easier to shut down with Horrify.
I think it's a very strong option in terms of CC and sustained damage. I think the Vala is going to be safer in terms of mobility. Especially when things go wrong or you don't have Horrify. We're talking about early game. With this Tasta Rhaegar here, it does feel like we're maybe leaning towards a flex pick now for Tempo Storm to sort of wait and see what Fnatic has in store first.
I like it. Rhaegar actually had to be picked up now. Just because he's so good on this map, and in general, so good with Garrosh and Sonya. Now Fnatic, if they go for a dive comp, for example, Tyrael Genji, I really like their chances going up against Sonya Garrosh, who are bypassed a little bit more easily, and Rhaegar, who cannot save himself as much. That's why the Tassadar pick by Tempo is smart as well. Yeah,
I can see why they picked up the Tesla, because they're realizing that, respecting more than anything, right, what Fnatic can do with those portals, jumping into the back line, destroying Rhaegar. He can't do much. He can't cleanse himself, nor can he ancestral himself. Tesla gives you that buffer, that EHP, so to speak, as he'll be looking to try and get himself out of harm's way. Tesla obviously so elusive himself with the dimensional shift, so shouldn't necessarily be caught out by the Medivh or what could have been otherwise with the entangling roots.
And Tyrael with Holy Ground or Sanct protects the portal invade so that Malf can step through and Twilight Dream.
Yeah, you have a lot of opportunity, a lot of engage with that. It's going to be going back to familiarity here with the Anubarak, though. A very strong early game pick who can do a lot of damage. Early rotations are so important on this map. You can follow up his burrow charges, his impales with those roots. You have portals to give him longer range. So I think it's a pick that goes back towards Medivh, but I think it does sacrifice a lot once we get past that stage as you go to the later game. The Malthael as well, this is not a map where you have strong solo laning as a priority.
I'm just interested now.
One more hero. Will it be the Kerrigan? Will it be the Kel'Thuzad? Because the Anubarak is kind of to stop Kel'Thuzad. Kerrigan gets countered by Medivh, but Kerrigan and Garrosh bypass the Force of Will time. There is a potential for either one of those two cool heroes here for Psalm.
I mean, you have so much CC if you do take the Kerrigan. You have the Sonya Spear. But, I mean, I'm not sold on it. I think we need range damage. They're going to do it! Oh, man. Okay.
It won them a lot of games in the group stage.
And vengeance never looked this good.
I feel like, this is going to be the story we talked about going as far back as that opening week. Will they show the same style as they showed in opening week? Will Fnatic be ready? This feels familiar.
It definitely does. The question that you kind of brought up at the very beginning is that, Medivh is going to be able to counter a lot of that. I suppose the objective now is land 2 or 3-man combos?
Yes. So much displacement, so many stuns.
Can't heal everybody, or can't protect everybody. If you hit everybody, you can just find that one target, blow them up, but there's not a lot of range damage.
Until level 16. Sure. If you don't take the reabsorption, but you take the group protect, that would be a pretty good choice, but this is so cool. Solo Assassin Kerrigan. I mean, I'm very excited about this. And let's keep in mind that although Force of Will can protect a blow-up target, it is not a cleanse. They don't take damage, they still get displaced, they still get stunned, and that means follow-up stuns are in place. There is no cleanse.
All right.
If Tempo was going to do it with any draft, this is it.
It's ready. Game number 3 on the way here. Fnatic and Tempo Storm go head-to-head. The winner will advance on to the round of 4. Let's head over to Gillian Dreadnought to bring us all the action.
When they are down and out, Tempo Storm puts all their hopes in the Queen of Blades as they bring back Kerrigan. Sans Kerrigan averaged 8 kills per game in the 2 games that they played, so it is a power pick for them.
And you gotta just, the amount of trust that Tempo Storm has put into Psalm in this tournament is insane. Every time their back is against the wall, they're like, you know what? You want to put on the backpack because we're ready to hop in, carry us to victory.
We've got the Kerrigan yet again. Let's get into it. Game 3, the final game of this best of 3 between Europe and North America, Fnatic and Tempo Storm.
Game number 2 looked very dominant here for the men in blue. Again, it is Fnatic. We have Breeze on that Anuba Rat, Quacknix on his Greymane, Schwimpy playing out that Medivh, Wubby's gonna be on the Malthael, and last is Smexy on the Malfurion. Let's hear it for Fnatic!
The team bringing the Circles of Pain. They've got June playing Rhaegar, Fury on Garrosh, Cottonlock playing Tassadar. We'll have Psalm playing as Kerrigan, and finally Caterpillar on Sonya. I want to hear you shout for Tempo Storm!
There are so many amazing just interactions between the compositions that both these teams have built. I just want to bring the highlight, the Garrosh-Kerrigan synergy, the ability to be able to pull them in, flip them away, hit the rock stun with the Kerrigan. It is a very, pixel perfect style of play, but Tempo Storm here, they've shown that they are well versed in the Kerrigan, excuse me there, and I just want to see what are they going to really bring here, because this is it for them.
And although Fnatic, who have Medivh, they first picked Medivh as a way of trying to counter whatever cheese or specially crafted strategy that Tempo Storm could bring in. Although they have that as a kind of counter for these pulls, the pulls could also come back to bite Fnatic for trying to take advantage of things like portals. You can pull them away from that and then get the kill before you could ever even get to the portal into safety.
And another thing to bring up when looking at the playstyle trends of Fnatic in the past and here in the composition, we see Tempo Storm picking up with that Kerrigan is Fnatic's okay with not taking fights into the early game. They're okay with giving you, mid-tier advantages here and there as long as they know the future game plan. They know where the power strike, where the power play is, where they need to strike later on. And Kerrigan compositions are terrible into that playstyle. They are, the biggest weakness is the team that is not willing to face check disrupt, not willing to match up into the laning situation as we see Fnatic doing here.
There's the pull, the flip. Smexy in trouble, has the Force of Will with the portal and will get back. Woo! Just one of many potential scary points for Fnatic, but they get through the first.
It's actually going to be amazing. You have so much just lack of ability to control your hero, so much crowd control there for Tempo Storm, and then Fnatic, you have the Medivh plays, the amazing, back and forth between the portals. I expect legitimately every team fight to just be hectic as all hell.
Now, after 13, a pull and a flip on Malfurion may not be the best idea, because he goes into Ice Block, jukes that, everyone comes in for the kill, and then he Twilight Dream silences all 5 members of Tempo Storm. So we might see some adjustment there on who ends up getting thrown into the fray of Tempo Storm.
But when it comes to the, laning situation here between the two teams, Tempo Storm has done a pretty good job of holding their own. They are unable to get a kill again because Fnatic understands the win conditions. They know that playing safe is into their best interest, but they're also appropriately mismatching lanes. This is something that is very common specifically within the Chinese region too. If you understand that you do not win the 1-4 into your opponent, why would you ever follow them into the lanes? You constantly make it a variable, make it hard for them to figure out where you're going to go, as Tempo Storm's trying to do here up on bottom. Wubby, he's going to be able to sniff that right on out. And look at Fnatic biting back.
Fnatic's ready to get back in. Caterpillar spinning to win. Has the root to catch him. He's starting to fall low with one final Arcane Rift. Tempo Storm still stays strong. No first blood in this game. We are neck in neck in this best of 3. So much is on the line here. There's no double elimination bracket. The winner of this game goes on and the loser goes home.
And I have to bring to light here the Shattered Ground adjustment there for Sonya. Caterpillars on that. It's not something we see too much here and there. You know, Rich has been willing to bust it out in certain situations, but into a Malthael laning mismatch where Sonya's going to be dominant. Hold up here. The root drop there up on top. Psalm goes for a combo. Breeze is able to get the impale there, and that is first blood over to Fnatic.
Fnatic feeling good after being able to get that first blood. But as you're talking about, the Shattered Ground is something that has been being played more and more at this tournament. What are your thoughts on that?
Whenever you have a solid laning matchup, which the Sonya into Malthael is pretty profitable post-7 for her once she gets the Poison Spear, she doesn't have to rely on just her spin to win, be able to get that wave clear. The Shattered Ground splash damage is going to put so much structural pressure onto the Malthael that it's going to force a response out of Fnatic if they ignore this lane too long.
Caterpillar in so much danger, spins through using the ability to get through, but it's not enough. As Sonya falls and Fnatic begins the siege, they have Web Weavers pushing behind them. They push this lane all the way up to the tower so they can get the most bang for their buck.
The timing on that death could not have been worse there for Tempo Storm and friends, sending Tassadar now to the bottom lane to be able to deal with Malthael. Big knock up there to flip onto Breeze. He has no escape, well, unless Schwimpy makes one for him.
Yeah, Medivh breaks the game. The Fun Police is here for Fnatic. And this is an important time with Medivh trying to stack up for his stacks, but even with that, Fnatic still want to get as much as they can get done with this. They're going to dive underneath the fort attack to go in. Fury and Psalm take so much damage with the combo.
They're going to try and turn this around, but Psalm's in a really bad spot. He gets the reset, leaps on to Breeze, but they get the kill. He's going to take that portal out, and Fnatic showing the aggression here, bringing it to what we consider an early game's composition for Tempo Storm. If you're a North American fan, you've got to be scared at how this game is looking so far.
Yes, because Fnatic hasn't just been able to get a fourth. They haven't just been able to get 3 kills. We're talking about Tomb of the Spider Queen, where an opponent can be so oppressive. They can snowball the game in the blink of an eye, and it starts with the start of a game like this. They've been able to rotate down. They have 1 fort down. They're working on a second one. They're looking to try to get the second turn in after this so that they can take out all the forts, get things pushed up to the keep towers, and from there never let go of their lead.
And we have to bring back to light here when it came to the map selection, Tempo Storm was the team willing to take Fnatic here to Tomb of the Spider Queen. Not only is Europe one of the best regions in the world, probably the best region in the world when looking at Tomb, but more importantly, Fnatic's climb through the ranks and ladder of Europe started with a very brilliant strategy. I mean, it feels like they wrote the textbook on Tomb, so confidence from them. But so far, this aggressive strategy is really just being shut down so well by Fnatic.
Ooh, I'm getting scared for Tempo Storm and the way that Schwimpy was positioning, but there's not quite heroic abilities yet for Fnatic, and this is the best time for Tempo Storm to hope to get a kill and catch back up to Fnatic before things get out of control and irrecoverable for them. Not getting that, finding a position though, as Fnatic hit 10, Tempo Storm disengage.
Gilly, this is going to be, if this Web Weaver face moves over for Fnatic, pre-10 for Tempo Storm. Look at their composition. There is legitimately only a Tassadar for their range. Kerrigan, yes, she's made up for it through talent adjustments to try and get a little bit of wave clear. Yeah, so has Sonya, but their positioning has to be so far forward that Twilight Dream, Anubarak, Leyline Seal, I mean, just everything on the side of Fnatic is going to have an absolute heyday here.
Yeah, Fnatic's looking to paint the battleground blue with this next set of Web Weavers. They've got it pushed on. Either way, it's a good thing for Fnatic as they take down the tower, and they're setting up even better. They've got Malthael keeping an eye on everything from Tempo Storm. And Tempo Storm, they have people who can combo someone in. They may be able to get a combo from Garrosh on one of the members of Fnatic, but so far that just has been stopped hard from the Medivh pick of Schwimpy, and that is so brilliant drafting from Fnatic.
Tempo Storm will be able to pick up their heroics slowly but surely, but the bottom Web Weaver securing the fort, top Web Weaver is making a lot happen here as well for the members of Fnatic. And we have to bring to light that though Tempo Storm did have a brilliant game number 1 showing, they haven't gotten a kill since game number 1. And they have a Kerrigan composition, you know that has got to change. I'm also wondering, maybe double down on the aggression. That things are not working in this game according to plan. Maybe a leap, you know, get a little bit weird with these type of initiations. I don't want to necessarily say that everyone at home should be busting out the leap in your own games, but Tempo Storm, it seems like they need to change something up here.
You just wanted to see leap because you're casting with me, is that right?
I mean, you're right.
All
yeah,
right. Sadly, we don't get it. but maybe we're going to see a Force Launch, still figuring things out. No, it's Archon for Tassadar. Heroics are here, and Tempo Storm needs to go. This is the time. Fnatic are on the boss. They're not quite 13. Tempo Storm has to get something going right now.
And even if we see Tempo Storm attempt to be able to get a turn in for themselves here, it's just going to be wasted here on this top boss that Fnatic's able to pick up. They're goaltending not only one of those shrines, but they get the boss as well. Fnatic's taking everything here away from Tempo Storm.
Yeah, Tempo didn't get that turn in, which means they don't have any relief from Fnatic in the way that they're pushing. The best they can do is just get back behind their wall before Schwimpy drops more than just the sprays on top of Tempo Storm.
He's just trying to spray over top of the Tempo Storm spray there with the Fnatic spray.
Well, he pushed it even further. It's closer to the base. Therefore, this is mine now. This is the Fnatic side of the map. All of it is Fnatic side.
It's about to be in a couple of seconds here. Members of Fnatic, we see a nice pull for Fury. He does not want to go ahead and drop the toss quite yet. Boss already below 50% HP. Impale drops, Psalm's at a bad spot. Wabi goes in.
Tormented Souls is out. He's going to start stepping back on top of Tempo Storm. Twilight Dream as Smexy moves through the portal, but all of Tempo Storm are safe. Importantly for Fnatic, though, they take the keep.
And they have Leyline Seal in case things get a little bit sketchy here on full retreat. I just want to bring to light the clever playmaking there for Fnatic. That was exactly what they wanted to do. Move past, zone Tempo Storm off the keep, and take the keep itself. Yes, it does cost maybe more heroics than we see into the later stages of the game, but at 9 minutes in, to be able to take that kind of keep over Tempo Storm, at this point, it feels like it's Fnatic's game to lose.
Yeah, something that I noticed a lot from Fnatic in this latest part in League play is how good they are at just kind of like puffing out their chests and seeing, can we scare away our opponents just by feigning aggression, just sending certain people out, maybe forcing a heroic here and there, just purely out of the fear of Fnatic as a team, the Colossus that they are, the mid-season Brawl champions.
Yeah, you know, to kind of bring it way back all the way to last BlizzCon, I'd say compare it to like Noblesse on Murden. He was so comfortable. He's just like, I don't have friends, I don't care. I'm going to scare you off of this point, make you think I have a whole squad sitting right behind me. And Fnatic does that perfectly here throughout this game, throughout most of the games we end up getting to see them play. June trying to drop this turn in though, as we see Schwimpy doing what the Raven does best here. Pesty above, dropping sprays.
Yeah, he gives the vision, and then Smexy has a Loon's Grace, so he has that extra range to more safely be able to drop that down to stall out, and they get the stall because of this. Tempo Storm still so fearful of Fnatic as a team, knowing that trying to keep is gone. This is really terrifying for Tempo Storm positionally, but it doesn't seem like it's going to get any better by going back and hiding in the base.
Yeah, you know, I'd like to say that I'm looking at later talent tiers and that maybe something comes online for the members of Tempo Storm, but it just doesn't. Yes, they do get stronger as the game goes on, but so do the members of Fnatic, sadly, here if you're a Tempo Storm fan. But they're doing a great job constantly keeping up this pressure as the catapults build on top. Psalm yet to move in here for a combo attempt. You go ahead, he's going to land it on top of two, get the Maelstrom.
Maelstrom, he's ready to go. They've got the double taunt, hits a couple, but Leyline Seal will stop the aggression for now. Psalm moves forward while Fnatic moves out of the base. They have done enough.
They've gotten the work up into the middle lane. They're going to transfer right on bottom. This is the dance, you know, the painting you were talking about, what Fnatic does so very well. It is so pretty, their transitions here, and Tempo Storm is desperate. When they hurt the 13, I would like to see them trying all in, to be honest. They have yet to really force a major team fight, and it's not like this game, again, is getting any prettier for themselves.
Yeah, Fnatic have brought down Tempo Storm to the bottom while catapults are up in the top lane. Tempo Storm is taking damage, but 16's almost here. This is the point. This is the time before they get to the 16. Now it's the go time, and now the go time is stopped because 16 is here, but they might go anyway.
Tempo Storm, it's taking catapult damage. Tempo Storm has negative wave clear at this point, it feels like. They have no way to deal with these minions, and Fnatic is putting them into that lose-lose scenario they do over and over again. Tempo seems fed up, though. They're going in.
The time is up. The time is now. Psalm and Fury go in on top of Fnatic. They've got Wubby, though, with Tormented Souls, and Kerrigan is blown up.
They get themselves Kerrigan. They find the Sonya immediately after 87% exists onto the core, but Fnatic, they're not going to aggress over quite yet. Lock down the bottom keep, and now it seems like they are done. They are ready to send Tempo Storm back home.
They're sending him packing. The core is falling. Fnatic struggled in game one. They lost to North America, but despite their best efforts, Tempo Storm just doesn't have the defense here versus Fnatic. We're down to 20% and continuing to fall as Fnatic takes out Tempo Storm.
Fnatic showing why they are one of the best teams, why they are your reigning champions. Game number one, things get a little bit weird for them, maybe show signs of struggle, but then they just take a minute, recollect themselves, and go, boys, I mean, we know how to play this game. We know what we're doing here. Confidence displayed on Tempo Storm, not even letting them get a kill through all of game number 2, nor game number 3.
Yeah, the biggest thing for Fnatic is to take that mental fortitude. Yes, a best of 3 is terrifying. We've heard about it so many times. But Fnatic knows they are the stronger team. They have been at the top of their region, at the top of the world for so long. They are one of the top contenders to be able to win the whole entire HGC finals. So being able to bring them back together, to have that rally cry, no doubtedly it was from Quacknix as their captain. That was a huge point for Fnatic and shows that they can continue on throughout this event.
But also on the other side of the coin here, Tempo Storm, they are going home, but you know that they have got to be proud of this performance, having some of the greatest performance they have ever had at a global stage, not only for just them as a roster, but for North America as a whole. The backing was here, but in the end, we know Fnatic, they do what they do best, win the video game.
Yeah, Fnatic will go on to the semifinals, and they will face the winner of the next match, which I'm so excited for because it's Ballistics versus Roll20. But for now, Fnatic get to take a breath, regroup, and watch the game, see who they'll be facing, and make their strategies.
I think it's going to be, no matter who ends up facing Fnatic, just the name alone is going to be enough to kind of deter and scare them on out. Sadly, we find ourselves with only one North American team remaining, but I still am just so very impressed with Fnatic. I honestly was very scared after that first game. With this kind of crowd, with this kind of hype, you heard the USA chants. Were they going to be able to deal with that? And it seems like it was very easy for them to just go, no, not that big of a deal. And that truly is the mentality there of a champion kind of being displayed.
Well, let's go check in with Kevin now and see what the mentality is from Fnatic.
Thank you so much, JC. That's right, I'm here with Quacknix from Team Fnatic. Congratulations on what was probably a little harder fought match than you expected. Take me back to game 1 there after that loss. What was going through your minds heading into game 2? How did you recompose, and what was your strategy taking on the next game?
So after game 1, which they obviously won, like, it was a bit upsetting, but not too much to worry about. Like, they had a really good game plan going into that match. They got exactly what they wanted, and we kind of fell into a trap in the draft. So it was just straight up them out-drafting us and outplaying us on the map. And then after that, you know, we just try to hype each other up. There's no point in being upset. So just prepare our next games and try to get what we wanted, and making sure we don't like fall in a trap or get like cheesed.
Sure. Well, I got a 2-part question for you. Hope you're ready for it. As the reigning world champions coming out of the mid-season brawl, is there a lot of pressure on your shoulders to perform here at BlizzCon? And how do you, as a team, continue to strengthen your mentality and to improve your game over your opponents?
I mean, obviously, it's a lot of pressure. We have higher expectations on ourselves, as well as the fans have higher expectations on us. But we really just try to not see ourselves as the world champions, and we just, you know, go in here with a good mentality, saying that we should not underestimate anybody and just, you know, play our game, and hopefully it's enough.
All right, so you have the evening off. You can take some rest and get ready for tomorrow. But I want to ask you, what is it like to be back on the BlizzCon stage in front of this incredible crowd? What does this mean to Team Fnatic?
It feels amazing. It's the best feeling ever to look out in the ocean of people like this. Everybody's cheering for us. Everybody's cheering for Heroes Esport. And yeah, I'm just super glad to be back.
Well, congratulations, Quacknix. Good luck tomorrow. I can't wait to see you. All the best. All right. Team Fnatic takes another win. Fantastic games. Let's head over to Kalaris for more information.
That's right, a valiant effort from Team Tempo Storm, even I should say, as they tried to battle against the world champion. It almost went their way, but in the end, they rattled the beast, or beef, if he were having his way. And in the end, it was difficult going into that second game and the third game. They were really upset, and they were pounding hard.
Yeah, Fnatic didn't give away any kills over 2 different maps.
Yeah.
And so they really brought the pain train to Tempo. And yet, I don't think this was a complete defeat here for Tempo Storm. Top 8, first of all, good, you know, pretty good result for them. And moreover, how they looked in game 1 against Fnatic. To take a map, this kind of team, they said it themselves, they were here at BlizzCon, same lineup 1 year ago, and now here they are taking a map of the 2-times champion of the last 2 tournaments. Yeah. So I think Tempo, they showed a lot of improvement, and they can continue to build on that. And now with this, I think they can dare to hope more.
Yeah, I think this is definitely going to be a confidence booster for Fnatic that had such a struggle dropping. I know it's just 1 map, but it felt like a struggle through the opening group stage, dropped the first map in this series. So confidence definitely regained with that crowd, and I think it does speak to having additional strategies, having that adaptability, not having a one-dimensional play style, as Tempo Storm, I feel, showed there in that final draft only, right? I'm not going to say it's a one-dimensional draft along 3 games, but going back to the draft, they showed us the most in opening week, I think ended up being their Achilles heel.
So far, Skibby, I mean, we've seen 2 teams now take a map off of Fnatic throughout this tournament from North America. It seems like North America is progressively getting a lot better as time has gone on.
I mean, absolutely. They really showed signs of life there with a composition which I wouldn't describe as cheese in game number 1, more so as a collection of, like, we've tried this out. This actually is a really innately good synergy to work together. They baited Fnatic, as Quacknix described during the draft, into a bit of a trap, and then it just came down to execution at that stage, which was fantastic. It kind of loops into our point going into game number 3. What was their plan as Tempo Storm? Were they looking to bring the pain, looking to bring their own style of play? Tomb of the Spider Queen was the answer. The only thing that really paralyzed me during that draft, hence why I was so quiet, was just like they go for Kerrigan. They're banking their success in this tournament on a Kerrigan pick. Different situation, different circumstances. You're using a Tessida instead of a Malfurion to act as that sort of ranged damage in that situation. But if you don't snowball ahead in the early game, you find yourself very, very weak. You can't contest bosses. You can't contest hand-ins. You're really forced to stand back. And plus that, if they do siege you, you can't really defend the siege either.
Essentially, yeah, like you said, essentially after level 9, the game was over, pretty much. Except that Fnatic completely messes up. The cracks actually started appearing in Tempo Storm's armor from their very first ban. They had in their mind Kerrigan possibility, Kel'Thuzad possibility. That first ban was ETC, should have been Medivh, with hindsight. As soon as Medivh came out, a masterful stroke of Fnatic, that entire line of strategies was shut down. And we needed Tempo to reach into their Mary Poppins bag and to summon something else out of that. And it just wasn't there, at least not fast enough. Give them a day, they'll think about something. Give them 45 seconds, it wasn't enough.
I mean, the lack of wave clear, the lack of range damage and defending it was just objective after objective. Webweaver's boss is marching down. We were talking about it here on the desk. How can they stop this boss when there's so much disengaged? There's the Medivh, there's Malfurion's Twilight Dream coming in against you, Leyline Seal. Like, how can you fight the boss? If you lose the boss, you have no way of defending it. It was, as we've been saying here on the desk, had to be a snowball game as it was in the past, and it was not. All
right, well, and that is Fnatic advancing on into the round of 4. Before we go on to our next series, of course, though, you can check out the Oracle series on all the Heroes Esports social channels. But, of course, we do have a reveal for you here in episode 5 of Oracle. They've all been fantastic. Enjoy.